Hello to my network. Today I'm joined by James Wallace, Claims Manager at Acmea Insurance. James has experience across all lines of general insurance. He specialises in property claims and for the last 2 years, agricultural claims with Acmea. Today we will be discussing James's professional journey and his top tips for insurance professionals in the market. James, if you could talk to yourself as a young grad in the industry, what advice would you give yourself knowing what you know now?
Yeah, thanks, Deanna. When I first started, all of the career paths that were presented to me were all over to the sales side. So I was in claims and I was enjoying claims, but all of the structures in place for my development and progress within the company I was at were all into sales. And so that was kind of the tension early on in my career. I didn't know where I was wanting to go. I was really enjoying claims. So all I would probably tell my younger self is, there are career paths in the things that you're interested in. So for me, it was claims, but I think across the industry, just because where you're at now doesn't have maybe where you want to head or extra roles, there are opportunities to do whatever interests you within insurance. And it's a really good industry for careers. Like there's lots of progression, there's lots of interesting things. So that would be what I would tell myself, like at the beginning of my career.
Yeah, that's great. Really agree with that. Just because you can't see it right now, or perhaps in the company that you're in, the opportunities definitely do exist, and perhaps you just need to persist or look for those opportunities. Awesome. Okay. And what has been the greatest achievement in your career, James?
I think at the moment, my greatest achievement is my current team. So we have an amazing team of there's 9 of us at Acmea, and I'm really proud of the team we've built here. It's a really compassionate team of really experienced professionals who love helping our clients. So Acmea's motto is to keep our farmers farming. That's what underpins all of our claim service. And this is, across my time in the industry, this is the kind of most engaged and most focused team on just really helping and servicing clients. And I think that's the best part of being in claims.
That's awesome. Really agree with that, especially knowing a couple of the people in your team.
Yes.
Fantastic. What do you think is the most important skill for a successful claims professional?
Compassion, by far. So every claim is different. Sometimes, especially when you've got high claims loads, it can be really easy to fall into the trap of, I'm just doing tasks. I'm just signing off emails, responding to follow-ups, doing the day-to-day. But especially having been a senior and now a claims manager, when you're dealing with those escalated complex claims, 9 times out of 10, just listening to the client, understanding what's actually frustrating them, resolves all issues. Because at the end of the day, you've got somebody on the other end of the phone or the other end of that email who's probably having the worst day of their year. For you, it's a Tuesday. For them, their house has just burned down, or even their car's just got a scratch and it's a brand new car, and they were really excited about it, and the second day out of the showroom or whatever, they've scratched the side, and that can be really frustrating. So whether it's a big claim or a small claim, compassion and just understanding the clients is number one.
Yeah, that's great advice. Okay, and what are your top tips for juniors or insurance professionals that are looking to transition into a claims role?
Yep. So fairly similar, just remembering that the client is at the heart of every claim. And if you are listening to and understanding the client, you're going to be in a much better position for every other task that you're doing. And then, just in claims, you have to put it off at the end of the day. So when you first get into claims, it can be really daunting and hard, especially if you're in some of the other streams. Luckily, I was in general insurance, but if you're in life or workers' comp, those are some really heavy days. And so you've got to learn very early on how to help and be compassionate as you can be during your day, but you have to take that off at the end of the day. Otherwise, you'll burn out and you won't be able to help anyone.
Yeah, definitely good advice. And I can see how people might take that work home with them. So being able to switch off at the end of the day is really critical to having a successful time in that role. Okay, and lastly, what do you think is the most important emerging skill that insurance professionals will need in the next 10 years?
Well, I'm going to sound like a Luddite on this one because I think technology is advancing at such a speed. AI, understanding, communication. So, now you can talk to a computer and the computer can understand and process. So there's going to be some huge changes in our industry. Luckily, for those of us who are in the industry at the moment, insurance isn't the quickest at adopting all of those things. So I don't think it's going to change our lives day to day at breakneck speed. But I'd say for insurance professionals, make sure that we're leaning on what computers can't replace so that we're making sure that we're future-proofing our roles. So that person-to-person piece, engaging with clients and stakeholders, because a computer's never going to be able to do that as well as a human. But in particular, when you say emerging skills, I think AI and that sort of technology really staying ahead of that. For claims, it's we're using probably more of the hardware side, which is really improving. So drone technology, which is supported by those AI softwares as well. That's probably the things we should stay on top of. But at the moment, and probably in the next 10 years, I don't think it'll change the day-to-day too much, but that's where we're heading.
Great. I really like your point there about professionals focusing their time on those skills that can't be replaced by a computer. I think that's really important, and great point that you make there, James. Thank you for joining me, and to my network, stay tuned for the next video.